For years, fighting between the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo and an armed militia group called M23 has caused crisis and conflict in the African country. Increased fighting in recent years, including with other militia groups, has led to one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. The UN estimates 23 million people are facing food insecurity. That's roughly a quarter of the country. 4.5 million children are acutely malnourished. More than 7 million people have been forced out of their homes, and that mass displacement is also creating a health crisis with cases of Mpox spiking to an estimated 15,000. Amy Pope joins me now. She's the Director General of the International Organization for Migration, or the IOM, and really a leader in this. Amy, you recently spent 3 days in the DRC. You were also here in New York speaking at the UN. Tell us what people need to know about this crisis.
Well, this is a forgotten crisis, but the scale of the need is absolutely off the charts. As you said, there are over 23 million people who have some fairly acute humanitarian need, including they just don't have enough food. And what we're seeing is just in this last year, 1 million people have been displaced. And that was in addition to the 6 million who are already living somewhere else because of this conflict. Now, what's really troubling about what's happening is the tremendous impact on women and girls. The rates of gender-based violence, of rape, sexual assault is off the charts. There have been as many as 61,000 reports of gender-based violence this year alone, which is an increase of more than 10%. And the stories I've heard from speaking to the women and girls who live in these displaced persons camps are tragic, to say the least. Girls who are afraid to leave their homes to search for firewood because they're raped when they go looking for firewood. Girls afraid to go to sleep at night because they don't have a safe place to sleep. And frankly, the response to the crisis is just insufficient.
And those are longstanding problems. As you were discussing this, we saw those tents. I remember you saying these tents aren't doors. You can't lock them. But then there's also these more acute crises that are happening. Last month, the IOM made an appeal to the U.S. for more than $18 million to help the Mpox affected population. We, of course, here in the United States get very concerned when we hear Mpox or monkeypox. Why is the crisis in the DRC making people particularly vulnerable to this virus?
Well, in the United States, we're very lucky that most people are living in houses. We have good sanitation practices, good hygiene practices, and excellent hospitals. But in a place like the DRC, there really isn't that level of sort of basic sanitary conditions. So you look at some of these camps where now over 7 million people live. People are living side by side. They don't have access to safe drinking water or ways to wash their hands, for example. And so that creates a condition where monkeypox can spread very rapidly. The other issue is that, of course, Mpox can be spread through sexual contact. And as I said, we have very, very high rates of gender-based violence, which puts women and girls particularly at risk for the outbreak of this disease.
And Amy, for many people, this is going to sound like a conflict very far away that doesn't affect them. It doesn't get enough attention. But we're all tied to it through our cell phones. Talk to us, at least for the last few moments that we have, about the rare earth minerals and how the phones in our pockets are playing a role in this conflict.
I mean, the real tragedy of this conflict is that the DRC is actually very, very rich in natural resources, including in cobalt. And cobalt is the mineral that is used to make the batteries that are in our cell phones and our tablets. All of us rely on this mineral. And what is fueling the conflict between the different parties is who has access to these minerals and who is profiting from those minerals. And that conflict is pushing people off their lands, causing tremendous destruction. And it's something that we fail to realize for those of us who are using our cell phones, for example. And so there's a real need for us to get involved to make sure people are aware of how something that is so essential to our daily lives today is creating real conflict and tragedy in the DRC for millions of people.
A true humanitarian crisis, and we appreciate the work that you do. Amy Pope, thank you.
Thank you.